The polls are turning against Kamala Harris. Black people are abandoning her in droves, man. What do they know that we don't know? I'm John Mike Keene. Here's CNN.
This is one of them, all right? This is the Democratic margin among black men under the age of 45 in presidential elections.
I hate when they do black men, black women, white people, white people. I hate that black people have to go through this. They have to live in this world. But here's a black guy. He is going to give his own story. So in his own words,
he said, as a black man, he felt no racism whatsoever out there. They actually brought him in type of shit.
He's talking about a friend who went to a Trump rally and a black guy felt embraced by Trump supporters, not because they're white, because they love people. And these black men were taught and they were trained, told lies by media that they were hated by Trump supporters. You were lied to. We always loved you. We always wanted you in here. Come join us. Come be our buds.
You go back to November of 2012, what do you see? You see Obama by 81. Clinton only won him by 63. Then we're all the way down to Biden last time around by 53. A tremendous drop already. And then you take a look at the average of the most recent polls, and Kamala Harris is up by only 41 points. That is about half the margin that Obama won them by back in November of 2012.
Wait, there's something bigger about those numbers. The drop from Obama to Hillary is 20 points, and the drop from Hillary to Harris is 20 points. They go from 80 to 60 to Hillary and 60 to Kamala 40. That means black men supported Hillary Clinton, a white woman, 20 points more than Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is 20 points worse than a white woman to black men. That's because it has nothing to do with the whiteness or blackness of Hillary or Obama or Kamala. It's Kamala is terrible. Black, white, green, red, male, female. I don't care if she's a tricycle. Black men think she's terrible as a person, and they're right.
You know what I mean? He felt welcomed to be there by the people that was there. Who he didn't feel welcomed by were the demonstrators that were against Trump. They were the ones looking at him like, oh, what are you doing over there?
And they rip on blacks and peer pressure blacks and degrade blacks. And so I'm happy to see them transcend their skin color and sex and see that these people, they're not your friends. Democrats aren't your friends.
And this, I think, is, when Barack Obama goes in last week when he was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, essentially talking to young black men, he made it seem like it was a Kamala Harris specific problem. This is part of a long-standing trend of young black men moving away from the Democratic Party, and Kamala Harris is just the latest to face that magnitude of younger black men going towards the Republicans.
That's the lie of the Democrat Party. It's taken a good 20 years, but they're falling away. They're just going, look, that lie doesn't work on us anymore.
That was most interesting here is the trend line and where some of the biggest drops happened or already happened in this case. How about black men overall?
How about black men overall? It's part of the same picture. We're looking once again at younger black men. It looks like the worst Democratic performance since 1960, since JFK versus Richard Nixon. It's the same thing among black men overall.
No one's failed black youth more than Democrats, so that's where they're facing the biggest hemorrhaging.
Part of a similar trend, but here actually the drop-off isn't as dramatic, right? Barack Obama won him by 85, then you see 71 with Clinton, 69, Biden, basically the same thing, holding steady. But here, again, very, very weak, only a 54-point margin. Now, again, still winning them by a large margin, but considerably lower than what we're used to, certainly considerably lower what we had during the Obama years.
54 points for Kamala. She's still getting the majority, a slim majority. All that means is that black youth are acting more normal. That is, they're picking politicians based on their policy instead of skin color and gender. That's all. They're getting closer to normal. When your sex and gender is moot, it doesn't matter. You look at the policy. That's Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream of judging people by the content of their character and not the color of their skin or what kind of junk they have in their pants.
The bottom line is Kamala Harris with younger black men and then black men overall putting in historically weak performance for a Democratic
Is she
candidate.
getting any relief with black women?
All right. So, we're talking about the trend line, right? And black women, look, she's doing better with black women than she is doing among black men. But here, there isn't a trend line almost until we get to Kamala Harris.
Okay, so she's doing 20 points better with black women. Black women, wake up.
So again, this is a black margin among black women. Look, Obama won him by 93, very large margin. Clinton won him by 93, a very large margin.
Wake up. Why are you so late to wake up compared to black men?
Biden did a little bit worse at 85.
Yeah, you were even supporting Biden. Creeper. Black women were supporting white male Biden by 85 points. That's why I'm saying flat out, black women, it's time to wake up. You're being suckered.
But the bottom line is, when you're talking about the base of the Democratic Party, you would think that Kamala Harris would do very well among black women based upon history. And of course, she would be the first black woman president, but she's actually doing the worst for a Democratic candidate among black women.
Here's Trump telling the truth on a recent podcast. You don't see this on other shows?
I don't want to really even think about it. I just do. I go from day to day. I do what I have to do. I work hard. I'm a hard worker, always been. So I've gone like 36 days in a row with no rest.
Trump is a hardworking man. I think that's what black voters admire about him, is they see a hard worker. I admire his work ethic. I don't know how he does it with a lack of sleep, but he does. Here he's describing it. It's like the Super Bowl. We're in the final stretches for this election.
I have, what do we have, 23, 24 days left, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't intend to take like a day off or 2 days off. You're running for the president. This is like you're running for the Super Bowl times 10, right? And you're sort of all by yourself, but you have some good people. You have some very professional people sitting over there.
Here's the Today polls destroying Kamala Harris.
I mean, the top line is the 5-point advantage that Kamala Harris had in our last poll is gone. What's behind that shift?
Yeah, exactly, Savannah. I mean, just look at them side by side and you can see it. Remember that poll we took a month ago that you see here? It was just after that first Trump-Harris debate. Since then, we've had the VP debate. There have been some campaign activities, some interviews.
Oh, yes, there's been some interviews of Kamala Harris. And that's what wiped out her lead.
Some things that have changed in that time. I think this might be the biggest for Harris. We just asked the basic image perception people have. Is it positive or negative of these candidates? The Trump number's always been somewhere in this territory. In fact, this is a little bit high for him, believe it or not, 43% positive. But look at Harris, 43 positive, 49 negative. The significance, we polled this a month ago. She was 48% positive and 45 negative. She was above water, as they say.
As people got to know Kamala Harris, she went from 48% likable. She did a weekend of interviews, and she dropped straight down 5 points down to 43% likable. And by the way, these are all Democrats interviewing her, trying to make her look good. So a bunch of Democrats came out and puffed her up on The View, 60 Minutes. They all tried to edit her and fix her and prop her up as best they can. And America came away and said, holy cow, now that we see that we've been lied to and she's terrible, we want Donald Trump. I'm John Mike Keane.